Hey guys, it's Tom. So 2015 is almost done, and there were a lot of movies out this year that I wanted to be good. Some were, and some were not. This is my list for the top 5 most disappointing movies of 2015. These were movies that I wanted to be good, but just weren't. They did not make me laugh. They did not make me feel good. Instead, they made me groan and they made me want to leave. And when I did, I was just vastly disappointed. So before we get into my list, let's establish some ground rules. First of all, this is my list. You may agree with some of the movies on my list. You may disagree, and that's fine. If you liked a movie on this list, that's totally cool. All film is subjective. Like I already said, these were movies that I wanted to be good, but weren't. And also, this list is movies that I've seen. There were movies out this year that I heard were so bad that I didn't even go to see them, like Fantastic Four, 50 Shades of Grey, Pixels, Pan. None of those movies are on this list. There were a few others that could have made this list, but they didn't let me down like these movies did. They just didn't do anything for me. These movies let me down. Okay everyone, disclaimers have been set, so let's get into this. Starting the list at number 5 is perhaps the most controversial movie on this list, and that is Sicario. I say controversial because a lot of people like this movie, and that's cool. I wouldn't say it's a bad film, it just let me down. It was so slow paced, and I know that was probably the intention to make it, intense, but I just didn't care, and it just bored me. Also, Josh Brolin's character was like too comedic for me, and I felt like he just didn't fit. This movie dragged on and on and on until it ended, and when it ended, it kind of just ended. You know what I mean? I walked out of this movie so disappointed because I wanted to like this movie. Like I said, a few people really did like this movie, but I didn't. Maybe this movie would benefit from me seeing it a second time, but given the slow pace and the fact that I just didn't care for a majority of it, I can't really see myself watching this movie again. If this tells you guys anything, the next movie that I saw after Sicario was the Peanuts movie, and I enjoyed that movie so much more. Coming in at number 4 is While We're Young, starring Ben Stiller, Naomi Watts, Adam Driver, and Amanda Seyfried. I like the concept behind this movie of an older couple, Stiller and Watts, and a younger couple, Driver and Seyfried, meeting up, and how they exchanged ideas and how we learn about like the gaps between generations in terms of, fashion or technology or what's hip. And then at one point the film kind of takes this turn in an odd direction and it doesn't really get back on track. I couldn't follow the story, things didn't make sense, although I feel like the movie was trying to make a point that the things that did happen made sense. Just not for me. I watched it with my mom, and then afterward, I didn't say anything. She looked over at me and just went, "You didn't really like it, did you?" And I kind of just leaned back like this and went, "No, I really didn't." Again, just like Sicario, this could be a movie that maybe could benefit from a second viewing, but given what I just said, again, I'm just not that interested. Now, number 3 and number 2 on this list, I really had a hard time putting it in these positions. They changed so many times when I was putting together this list. They could still be interchangeable, but this is what I'm going with right now. At number 3, Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Now look, I enjoyed the first Hot Tub Time Machine. I don't think I'd ever own it, but it was silly and it was pretty funny. The jokes in this movie got really old, really fast. It didn't seem like any of the characters changed from the first movie. Granted, it's a comedy, but since a lot of the funnier jokes were in the first one, and this was sort of like a continuation, it just died down and it just became a big pile of blech known as Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Maybe 1 or 2 jokes in this movie actually made me laugh, but like I said, it just got really old really fast. And it was those kind of jokes that try to be, explicit like every 2 minutes, and boy, I just got bored of it. They didn't even bring back John Cusack for this movie. Even though when I saw him in that first movie, at that time he wasn't one of my favorite actors, he's definitely grown on me, but I have to wonder if he could have saved this movie. But we'll never know, so it still sucks. At number 2, again, what I'm going with right now is Paper Towns. This is the second John Green book that has been turned into a movie after The Fault in Our Stars, which I thought was just okay. This movie had a unique concept. You know, I actually liked the plot of this movie. You know, a girl who loves mysteries so much that she becomes one and people have to go find her. All of the main characters in this movie are high schoolers, and boy does it show. They hang out in the band hall, they talk about how important prom is, and how they won't see each other when they go off to college. You know, things that high schoolers did and things that I did years ago that I've moved on from. Everything in this movie that wasn't the plot was like high school senior drama, and I just didn't care. And also the way the film ends, it was just like one big why? It was like trying to go for like a big sense of drama, but it just kept me thinking, why? Like, why would you do that? Like, it just kind of just didn't make sense and kind of contradicted things that were already said in the movie. Whatever. I wanted to like this movie, even have it be okay, like The Fault in Our Stars, but just no. And finally, number one on this list. This is the movie that did not make me laugh. Instead, it made me bored and uncomfortable. And that is Get Hard. Now, I thought this movie could be really funny with Will Ferrell, a comedian I really like, and Kevin Hart, a comedian I don't really like, but I felt they could work magic together. Oh boy, did the jokes fall flat in this movie. One of the big things about this movie is that it explores like a white person like Will Ferrell in a black community. Oh man, did it just make me feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's what they were trying to go for, but instead it made me sad, and that's the problem. This is a comedy. It's supposed to make me laugh. You know, they should have played it for laughs, but instead it just made me sad and uncomfortable, and I just did not want to be there. If you guys want to see a good movie about representing a black community, check out either Dope or Straight Outta Compton. Both movies that do it better, and they're both better movies. I couldn't stand this movie. It evoked all the wrong feelings in me, and that is why it is my number one most disappointing movie. Well guys, that is my list. I hope you enjoyed that. 2015 is almost done. I will have videos up on this channel for my most anticipated movies of 2016, and I might be doing something awesome in the future regarding the best / my favorite movies of 2015. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know down below in the comments, what do you think of my list? Did you agree with some of my choices? Did you disagree with some of them? And also let me know what are some of your most disappointing movies of 2015. You know, movies that you actually saw and walked out of the theater with the same feeling that I did. Let me know all that in the comments down below, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more videos. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Have a happy new year, and thanks for watching. I'm Tom Urrutia.